glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. It's August 15th, 2022. This is live stream number 80. 80 live streams. Welcome back. And here we are. So, yeah, I wasn't sure we were going to do a live stream. You're getting tired of me saying that I wasn't sure. And then I decided to do it. But the fact is, I missed you guys. You know, I was off last week, tried to do a spontaneous live stream while on vacation. Several of you tuned into that and found out that didn't work so well. And then we talked about skipping live streams in August. But, you know, I just missed you and I missed being here. And, you know, apparently a lot of you enjoy being here because here you are once again on a Monday night with not a whole lot going on here. But we are going to do a sticker giveaway tonight. So you want to stick around for that. I hate saying stick around because I'm tired of that pun. But anyway, sticker giveaway coming up tonight. So we're still going to do that. Going to look at your live chat questions and comments and just kind of free roll tonight and see how everybody's doing. But I hope to answer some questions on there. I do have some pictures to share with you, my pictures, as we traveled a bit. If you're interested, I'll talk about, you know, what we did over the past week. If you saw, I even made a video while on vacation. So that was fun to do. Don't you think? So anyway, this is, as I said, this is live stream number 80, August 15th, 2022. We're going to be hitting 100 live streams before we know it if we keep doing this. I do want to mention that if it's your first time here, I want you to, first I want to welcome you. And I'd love for you to mention that in the comments that it's your first time on the live stream. So that way we can welcome you. And I'm curious how you found the live stream because now we are on not only YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and now TikTok as well. And several people are finding or discovering the channel through those other means besides YouTube. I know a lot of people join us from Facebook. We've been streaming live to Facebook simultaneously pretty much since the beginning. But we can't stream to Instagram or TikTok. You can stream live to them, but not through this platform and not simultaneously. So we choose to do it this way. That way I can simultaneously broadcast to both. I guess that's simulcast, live stream to both Facebook and YouTube. At any rate, tons of people are watching the videos on Facebook and now TikTok and seeing some pictures on Instagram. So anyway, if you're joining for the first time and you discovered the channel on any of those platforms, let us know how you found us. If you would, I'd appreciate it. Also, especially if you're on YouTube, but if you're on Facebook as well, if you enjoy the live stream, just give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. It means a lot. And then about tonight's show, well, I've already told you it's kind of just free rolling tonight a little bit. And we'll talk about tractors and gardening and projects around the property and life in the country and all those good things that we enjoy so much that we have in common. So for people who live in the country or used to live in the country or long to live in the country, you know, there's a certain aspect of living rurally. We tend to be a little bit more independent, I think. And a lot of us are mechanically inclined and we fix things or we want to fix things or we have to fix things and we can learn from each other. So it's a little different lifestyle that, you know, some people don't want to live in a rural environment. And I get it. You know, when I go to a place that's where you don't have to cut the grass, you've got sidewalks wherever you want to go and you can walk places. That's pretty nice too. But I don't mind driving a little bit to get where I need to go. But let's see who's here tonight, because I saw a lot of comments rolling in. So I'll back up just a little bit and say hello to J&J Acres, who apparently was the first one here. Looks like the first comment made and Mikey0011 and Chris. I saw your joke. Since we're talking about vacation, Chris said, my wife told me sex is better on holiday. I hate getting postcards like that. It made me laugh before the live stream started. Thank you, Chris. It reminds me, I saw a card one time that said, it was a postcard, and it said, the weather is here. Wish you were great. That was a good one. Don't you think? Mark over at Manisto Key, good to see you tonight. Woodster 300. Twin Brook Acres is here, as well as Dennis and Glenn and Lee and Edward Barker and Herb Caldwell. Good to see you, Herb. And okay. Thank you, Rocket Man. Missed me too. That's nice. Appreciate it. And Brutal Bob is in the house. Good to see you, Brutal Bob. Hope everyone is doing really well. Glenn has a question. Was the Kubota Sidekick a tease? No, I'm not getting one, if that's what you mean. I was at my sister and brother-in-law's farm as part of our vacation. We kind of started out going there, and then we saw some other places from there. They're in Central Tennessee. They bought that Kubota RTV 1100C, which is the cab model, and I brought my gear with me in case I could record something there, and just so happened they had the Kubota, and I thought, well, that would be interesting. So that's why I recorded that. But no, I'm not getting one. If you're thinking that that was a tease for that, but no, or was it a tease for you because you want one? Was I teasing you? It is nice, though. It's a heavy-duty machine, and if you haven't seen that video, if you want a little overview of the Kubota RTV 1100C side by side, check out the video. It's the last full-length video that I made. So if you check the library, you will see it there. Hello, Barbara. Happy Monday to you. I got to tell you, I don't know how it is for you, but when I come here on Monday nights, I forget that it's only Monday, like in a good way. Like this feels like I just have a good time here talking to you and with you. Sometimes we have you on camera and have a guest on, but there's something about doing this live stream where to me it feels like we're almost wrapping up the week, and actually we're just starting it. So it's a good way to start. So hello, Margaret from Harrisburg, and Barbara from is that the Outer Banks? Is that what OIB is? Outer Banks? I would think. I don't know. I'm sure you'll let me know. Linda, glad you're back. I'm glad to be back too. And the bees look good from what I see. Woodster has a question about Neil Messick's video on Kubota. Is that his latest one? Because I didn't see the latest one. That's a little vague, your message there, because Neil has about 1,000 videos on Kubota. So I don't know, but you folks probably know what we're talking about here. So yes, or fill me in since I haven't seen it. I'll still watch it. Caden, good to see you. Haven't been able to make it the last couple weeks. That's okay. Summertime is rough for everybody, for sure. And there's our friend Colleen. Hello, Colleen Joyce. I'm going to show your picture here in just a minute. Okay. All right. So the video is something about an off-brand called Kubota. Kubota, is that they spelled it that way? That's pretty blatant if that's what they did. Again, sorry for not making eye contact, but I'm reading here. Oh, copycat implements and tractors. Yeah, it's amazing. I remember I went to New York City years ago, and this was before the internet, and we'd go up there to get video equipment, B&H Photo, and then there were all these little side shops that sold electronics, and I can remember going in there and seeing a VCR, which at the time they probably cost $500 for a home VCR, and the font looked just like Panasonic, but it was spelled like Panasonic. It had an extra letter in there, and it looked just like Panasonic, and they were just selling it right there out in the open. We have a local flea market, and a friend of ours bought a pack of Sharpies. This is a super Sharpie. Not that I really need to focus on that and show you what it is, but anyway, that's what it is. Anyway, I remember she bought a pack of Sharpies, and I was looking at it, and it was, again, the same font, but it said Shupie, Shupie instead of Sharpie, and you would swear it was a Sharpie, but it was a Shupie, and maybe that's what we're talking about. Meanwhile, I'll read some more comments. I'm going to try and really pay attention to these comments. So again, if you've been here before, you know the drill. If you have a question, type in your comment. Start it out with the word question, followed by your question, and that's a good way for me and for others to see it. Let me go back. Thank you, Rocket Man 697. Good reminder to smash that like button. I appreciate it. And thank you for the clarification about the knockoff on Kubota called Kubota. You know, when you use Siri to spell Kubota, she often spells it Cabota because you say Kubota. I tend to use Siri a lot when I use like the text to speech when I'm texting and whatnot. So, but yes, I was checking my messages to make sure nothing's wrong. And let me just read a couple more comments. You know what happens is I read a response to a comment, and I think, well, that looks interesting, but then I have to go back and see what the comment was, and I can't find it. It's gone. I wonder what they said. Oh, thank you for clarification there, Richard Klump, about Ocean Isle Beach, because I saw OIB and thought maybe that was Outer Banks, but Ocean Isle Beach. Nice. Give me 1 second. Oh, Chev Head Ed, thank you for mentioning this. And that's what Margaret was saying. That would be fun. Please do. Please do this. If you go to Graceland, there is a pole. I guess it's for a traffic light. There's so much graffiti in Graceland on the wall. And I'm going to show you a picture of that here in a minute. But it's almost nostalgic now. Like I imagine the first time somebody wrote on the wall, you thought, well, that's disrespectful. But now it's kind of a rite of passage, I guess. There's so much. You can't even see the stones of the bricks anymore. There's so much graffiti. And this pole that has the traffic light or whatever the pole is, I didn't even really look up to see what it was. It's a metal pole, and it's just covered with people's names and stickers and whatnot. So I thought, it's not something I would normally do, but it seemed like it was acceptable to do here. So before we left Graceland, I took one of these stickers, actually two, one on each side, and stuck it to the pole. So if you go to Graceland anytime, I don't know how long the sticker's going to last on there. Maybe it'll be on there for a year or more before it gets covered up. But if you go to Graceland, stand on the sidewalk in front of the mansion. There's a big sidewalk there, right next to the iron gates, and you'll see this metal pole. Do me a favor, if you go to Graceland, take a picture with my sticker in the picture. That would be so fun. I'm going to show that to you here in just a minute, and I'll tell you about the trip if you're interested. Are you interested in hearing what we did for the last week? Because we did a lot in a short amount of time, and it was a lot of fun. We pulled the see, I asked you if you wanted to hear, and then I just started talking, assuming you'd want to hear. This was the plan. I'll go through it in painful detail. Like 2 weeks ago, my brother texted me and he said, is there any way you can meet me in Tennessee? Because he bought some property there because he's planning for the future, that he'd like to retire and build a home there in Tennessee where the taxes are low and the land is expansive and beautiful and all that whatnot. And so he wants to build a home there, and he bought this property a year or two ago, and I haven't seen it yet. So he said, he said, I'll be down there. Can you come? And I really started thinking about it, talked to my wife, and we said we should go. We should go see this because, what are the chances of us being able to be together at the same time, same place? Started out looking at flights, and I was going to go down on a Friday and come back on a Monday, and I found flights. Get this, I found round trip tickets for $94 a person, and that was pretty tempting. But then we're like, I don't know if I feel like dealing with the airport and flying and all that, and maybe we could make it a longer trip. So we've got the camper, the travel trailer, which we love to use, and we haven't used it. I just cleaned it up recently because this trip came up, but it was just sitting there, and you got to use these things. So we said, let's take some more time and take the travel trailer. I had plenty of time to take on vacation from my day job, so I took all of last week off, plus a couple days before. So we left Wednesday night last week, and we drove in the travel trailer. And that was the start of the trip. But we knew we weren't going to just drive down there just to park the camper at my sister's place without seeing some other things. So, hello, Brandon. Good to see you. So we went down there, and did we stop along the way? No, it's like a 14-hour drive from here. So here's the thing. If you have a camper, travel trailer, RV, such and such, there are certain places that will allow you to park in the parking lot overnight. So if you're taking a long trip, you don't have to find a campground or anything like that. So we stayed at Cracker Barrel in Virginia the first night, which was only about a 4-hour drive from here. But we wanted to get past DC and Baltimore. So we thought, let's leave late Wednesday. It's just like 7 p.m. Drive for 4 hours. I have an app on my phone. I forget what it's called, but you can see where places are, and it'll tell you overnight parking allowed, overnight parking not allowed. Walmart used to be the go-to place for overnight parking, but a lot of Walmarts are stopping that and not allowing overnight parking anymore. Cracker Barrel, on the other hand, seems to be pretty open to it. And what's nice about that is Cracker Barrel closes, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So you pull in that time, and the parking lot's pretty much empty. You have to see if you feel safe or not. We felt safe. It was comfortable. We were able to run the generator all night long because it's not going to disturb anybody. So we had air conditioning, and that's what we did. I can't go through this whole trip like that. Believe me, it's not going to be that painful detail. Anyway, so we spent a couple days in Tennessee, saw the property, loved it, and then we moved on Monday, and we headed west because we wanted to go back to Memphis, where we were 5 years ago, 2017. 18, 19, 20, 22, 5 years. Got to count my fingers. 5 years ago, we said, let's go back to Memphis because when we were there 5 years ago, we saw Graceland, but we were just there for a day. It was a pretty quick trip. And then we found out that the Civil Rights Museum was in Memphis. We wanted to see that, didn't have time. So we said, let's go back, see the Civil Rights Museum. Drove to Memphis on Monday, and we planned to stay overnight Monday, see the Civil Rights Museum. Tuesday, I went to get some information, and the person that I was talking to at the campground said that the museum is closed every Tuesday. I learned so much on this trip. The Civil Rights Museum, which is in downtown Memphis, which is the old Lorraine Hotel, which is where Martin Luther King was shot and killed. He was killed on a Tuesday. Therefore, the museum is closed every Tuesday in honor of Martin Luther King. So that we said, well, then we can't go Tuesday. We're going to stay an extra day. So we decided to hit Graceland, the mansion again, which I wanted to see because I told that story before about how I missed it the first time because I was messing with the stupid iPad that they give you, which is has a narration by John Stamos and fun facts and whatnot. And my iPad wasn't working right. And I was messing with it as I'm walking through the mansion. And I thought, I didn't even really look around because I'm messing with this iPad, which is probably fine if it works, but mine wasn't working too well. So this time when we went, they handed us the iPads and we turned them in. We said, we don't want the iPads. So, hello, John, you made it. anyway, we didn't need the iPads. And we walked through, and it was just great. It was so fun to see it a second time. If you've never seen the Graceland mansion, first of all, you should go. You should go see the Elvis movie. Learn about this guy. Amazing, interesting story to think one person can still be that relevant. Uh, go to Graceland. If you've been to Graceland, go again. It's so neat to see it a second time. You see things you didn't see, or it was very comfortable. It was kind of magical, very magical. Uh, Very quiet, very nice. We took our time. We walked the grounds, and just loved it. So I could be showing you some pictures while we talk about this. And if you have to go, believe me, it's okay. You can go. I know this may not be for everybody because we're not talking so much about tractors right now, are we? Um, but we're here because we're friends, right? Let me start out by just showing you this picture because Ed and Colleen Joyce, who are you see them in the comments, they're great friends of the channel, very supportive. Uh, Here they are. They're in Tennessee the same time we were, or actually we kind of just missed each other. I think there they are, Athens, Tennessee. They've got the MCG T-shirts on, and I didn't show it, but there's a picture of Colleen because Colleen won the Land Pride hat that we gave away a couple weeks ago. So, but they bought the shirts. They wear them all over the country. So supportive, and I just thank you guys so much for that. Um, and then speaking of friends, on the way back, I'm going backwards here now. Actually, the very last thing we did on this trip, which was Sunday, I don't know. No, it had to be Friday. The days, they blur, they go together. You know this guy? Look at this guy. There we are. You know Chris from the Watershed Overlook channel? We all know Chris. He's on there all the time. Well, Chris and I met up, my wife too, and had dinner together because we were driving through the area not far from each other. So that was fun to meet up with not just another YouTube personality, but just a genuinely good person. So that was fun. Thank you, Chris, for taking the time to meet up with us because we really enjoyed it and had a good time. So yeah, let me. I put some of these pictures on here tonight, and I didn't really have time to go through. But all right, let's go through the trip real quick. So we went to my sister and brother-in-law's place on Friday. On Saturday, I bought tickets to the Grand Ole Opry. What a show! You've got to go see the Grand Ole Opry. It is just a piece of Americana, and what a great time we had there. And just again, second time being there. My wife and I went to the Opry not on the 5-year ago trip. It was more like 8 years ago, and loved it so much. I knew I wanted to go again, so I bought tickets and we went to the Grand Ole Opry. Tell me, can you name this person? Let's see if you can put that in the comments. You won't win anything other than the pride of knowing that you're a winner, but can you name who that is? You should. That's a pretty good close-up I shot there. Very exciting to see this show. So yeah. Anybody name him already? Yeah. Well, anyway, who was that? Let me go back to the it's hard for me to look at the pictures and then go back to the comments. Anyway, we're looking for who is this person. The show was all about him, by the way. It was to honor his music and his songwriting, and what a treat to see that. And he's still Key says, no idea. Come on. Somebody's going to know. Somebody is going to know who that was. You're right. Not Minnie Pearl. The first time we went to the Grand Ole Opry, 8-10 years ago, whenever that was, little Jimmy Dickens came walking out on the stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know he was still alive. Like, he seemed like such a person from the past. But it was fun. And by the way, we drove through the town where Minnie Pearl lived, and there's a statue of her there. It's made out of metal or something like that. But what is it, grinder switch or something like that, where she called it. But anyway, that's Centerville, Tennessee is the actual town where she lived. So, okay. I am surprised that the comments have not lit up with who that entertainer is. Am I in that much of a minority of who that is? All right, well, so we went to the Opry. That was fun. Got to do that. Finished visiting. Left on Monday. Drove straight through to Memphis, and then so that was Monday, and then Tuesday is when we got to see Graceland. So these pictures are out of order, but here they are. There's the mansion. I've explained to you before, the mansion is not so much of a mansion, but there is an airplane on site, the Lisa Marie. If you go there, you can actually tour the airplane as well. Here I am in front of the mansion. This was after the tour. And let's go back to the gates here, and I'll show you the gates. And I'll tell you a fun story here in just a minute. Lest I forget. But everything's out of order. Isn't that funny how that happens? You don't want to just be looking at, well, what's the difference? I was going to say, you don't want to be looking at a picture of me the whole time. You want to be looking at actual me. So I don't know where the gates are, but here's the wall with the graffiti, and the wall in front of Graceland on Elvis Presley Boulevard, stone wall, brick wall, and it is just covered with this kind of graffiti. But like I said, it's kind of fun and kind of acceptable at this point, I think. And I thought I had the picture of the pole with my sticker on it. I can't seem to find it. But anyway, so that was that. My favorite room in Graceland of all the rooms, and again, it's a very modest place. It's not a mansion that you would think of. It's a modest home, very comfortable. I could live there easily. You walk in the front door, you've got a living room on the right side, which is not huge. You've got a dining room on the left side, and then you walk ahead. You've got the staircase to the left. You're not allowed to go upstairs. Nobody has ever been upstairs on a tour. It's supposedly, they say, that is left for the family out of respect. So the second floor is not part of the tour, and nobody goes up there. Can't help but think that some employees have all been up there just to poke around. I would think so. But anyway, second floor is off limits. But anyway, so the staircase on your left, then you go forward down the little hallway. In the back side, you've got the parents' bedroom from 1957. Vernon and, was it Grace? No, not Grace. I can't think of her name. Anyway, their bedroom is there, and then you turn left into the kitchen. So my favorite room of all places is the kitchen. Here's a picture of the kitchen. That first on the left side there is what you see when you first walk into the kitchen. It's got Formica like I had growing up, and it's the same exact Formica that my house had. It had that cool TV monitor there, which they could see the gates, I guess, and who was there. And the carpet in the kitchen is kind of weird, but it's got the paneling from the 70s, and it just had what seemed like standard appliances. But that's my favorite. That's my favorite room. I'm going to look back at comments here. Herb. All right. There we go. Tony G has got it. And John Ritter has got it. I'm seeing who had it first. Anyway, yes, John Anderson is the singer. And if you are a country music fan from the 80s, you'll know John Anderson. Big song was Swingin'. I think that was the one that really put him on the charts. And then in later years, it was Seminole Wind. He's got a very distinctive sound. and super talented guy. Love John Anderson. So that's who it was. Good job there, John Ritter. And look, Brad there from Piney Grove, or Deb. Which one of you answered that? I don't know. John Anderson and Tony G. Got it. So that's who it is.
Motion at your stick-up cam.
Sorry, motion on my stick-up cam. Who's out there? Anyway, it was John Anderson, and that was such a treat. Also saw John Conley, who may be lesser known to some of you, but again, if you were into country music in the 80s, you'll know who John Conley was, 80s and 90s. So fun to see him. Connie Smith was there. She's more old school. I didn't really know anything from her, but it's neat to see people that are familiar, at least in name and whatnot. But yeah, and Brandon Seminole Wind, when he did that, it was so good. And Chunk of Coal, I love that song. We could go on and on with John Anderson. So look up, if you're on Spotify or any of those streaming services, look up some John Anderson music. And if you're an old school country fan, you'll like that. So anyway, we saw that. The kitchen's my favorite room. This is fun. If you know Elvis at all, you heard about the jungle room, and I always thought the jungle room was like this. For some reason, I imagine, again, this mansion being enormous, and I thought the jungle room was like a big room in the basement or something. The jungle room is this room right here. It's an addition off the kitchen. The kitchen is just to the left. There's a little hallway between the kitchen and the jungle room, and the jungle room has those windows facing the backyard, and that's it. It's just another type of living room right there. That's the jungle room. What do you think of that? Jungle room. But I believe I know that they did some home recordings at one time. They actually recorded an album in the jungle room. So fun facts there. And this was fun. You can go in the basement too, by the way. There's a pool table down there. Really gaudy, but kind of fun. Look at this room. This is in the basement. Another like living room type place. Talk about the ultimate man cave. It's all black and yellow. He had those 3 TVs there, and a lot of mirrors, and just gaudy. But again, not big, not very big at all. There was a little bar down there, very cozy. So, and then across from that is a room with a pool table, which I don't have a picture of that. I do have it, but I didn't upload it here tonight. But anyway, we're back on the first floor, walking past the kitchen on the left, jungle room on the right, and there's this curtain along the wall. There's a lot of curtains in the house, I guess, for sound deadening and whatnot. But I pulled the curtain back a little bit, and it was black behind the curtain, like there was another room back there. And I thought, that's interesting, and there was nobody behind me. So I took my cell phone and I stuck it behind the curtain, and I put it on long exposure, and I held it steady and took like a 5-second exposure picture, whatever the longest it would take. And that way I could hopefully see what was in this black room behind the curtain. So I pulled out my camera to look at the picture, and this is exactly what I saw behind that curtain. There it was. And you can see my hand there holding it. So that door was about 2 feet behind the curtain, maybe 3 feet behind the curtain. And that's what I saw. I was hoping to see a whole nother room or something, but I don't even know where that door went. I guess out front somewhere, but kind of fun still. I was so excited. Since these are out of order, let me see what I can do here. Oh, there are other buildings on the Graceland property. There's 13 acres there. There is a racquetball building that he had custom built, I think, in the short time before he died, like maybe 1975. So that's kind of a modern looking, interesting racquetball building. There's a building called the Trophy Room, and I don't know that it was his, but I guess the museum people built this. And you walk through that, and it shows all memorabilia. It shows like his father's, Gladys and Vernon's, tax return from 1953, where they had earned like maybe $1,000 for the year. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't much. They really did come from dirt poor times, for sure. So a lot of receipts. They just had the receipt for pianos and the swimming pool that they had put in Graceland, the receipts for that. There was a receipt, I think, for the gates. So that was neat. A lot of memorabilia there to look through. But there are pictures all over. And in 2017, when we were there, my wife took a picture, or I took a picture of her in front of a picture of Elvis, and she posed. And then we recreated the picture this last time, and this is the picture here. There's a little walkway there and all along. So anyway, that's a cute little picture that she took. And we have the same exact picture from 2017. So we said we should go back every 5-6 years and recreate that picture. So that's that. Then what was neat is that we spent 2 days in Memphis. We did go to Beale Street one night. Thought I had a picture of that, but things are here. It is. Beale Street was the birth of the blues, and that only about 20-30 minutes from Graceland. I think Elvis used to hang out on Beale Street. Fun place. It was a little down for this visit. We think a few shops might have closed because of COVID, but the one waiter said that the place does kick up at night. It was just so brutally hot. It was 108-degree heat index when we were there in Memphis. It was just brutal heat. So not a lot of people out on the streets that night, but it's a fun place to be. What was my point? My point was that the next day, before we went to the Civil Rights Museum, which they're closed on Tuesday, remember? So Wednesday, I woke up early, and the campground, which is the Graceland RV Park, is right next to all the attractions. It's across the street from the mansion, so you're right there. And it is just an RV park. I mean, it's basically a parking lot with a couple trees, but very convenient and inexpensive as well. So we were there, woke up in the morning, and I thought, I'm going to take a walk around the block. I mean, there's a whole neighborhood behind the Graceland Mansion. The Graceland Mansion, they purchased it, I think, in 1957, 13 acres. And at that time, it was really a farm. And behind that was many more acres that somebody else owned. And in 1960, this neighborhood was built. I walked by there. I was looking at the tax map as I was walking around to see who owned what and whatnot. And all the houses that I found were built in 1960. So this development, this neighborhood was built in 1960, and it surrounds the back end of Graceland. So I walked around there, and just on that first block, there was a house, and Vernon Presley, who was Elvis's father, lived in this house here from 1964 through 1978. So initially in 1957, he and his wife lived in the mansion on that first floor bedroom. But then, of course, his wife died, and very early on, like prior to 1960. So I guess Vernon got his own house. It's attached to the Graceland property, and he lived here right around the corner. And you can walk past that, and it's all dilapidated. It's vacant. It's not owned by Elvis Presley Enterprises. It's owned by a private couple or company in California. And it's just there, but still neat to see that. And then I ended up talking to the neighbor of that house. Lived to the left of this house. It was a gentleman. He was out there just doing some yard work or something. And so I kind of struck up a conversation because I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, how long have you lived here?" And he said, "About 30 years." So he didn't know any of this. He didn't live there when Vernon Presley lived there. This guy was about 66, 67 years old. So he was just fun to talk to. I was hoping that somebody would be there who actually lived there from like 1960, but no such luck. I asked the gentleman if he'd ever been to the mansion, and he said, "No, I've never been there." He's lived there 30 years, literally in the backyard, and he's never been there. So I told him he should go. Oh, sorry. I clicked the wrong picture again. Anyway, that was fun. If you have any questions about Graceland, ask me. I really recommend that that you go there. David, interesting, lived near that subdivision from 67 to 73. Very cool. Yeah, the area around the mansion and Memphis area is kind of sad. It's not. It's just there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of poverty around there. It's sad to see. But I met nice people for sure. I'm just looking at comments right now. Oh, there we go. Twin Brooks did not realize there are 13 acres there. When we visited in 1981, we were restricted to the driveway up the graves. Couldn't go anywhere else. The house was not open. Yeah, 81 was only a couple years after he died. 77, just a few years later. So they've built an entire complex across the street now with museums and all the cars and whatnot. I would go again if I were you, if you haven't been there since 81. And you can't walk the whole 13 acres. It's horse pasture back there. There's a barn in the back. So you're limited to the backyard, but you certainly can see a lot more than you did at the time, for sure. Because here is... I have these little thumbnail pictures to look at. Because I had a picture of the gravesite. I don't think they all uploaded properly. Yeah, I missed some of them when I was uploading. Anyway, everything's online if you want to see anything. But the grave sites are there as well. The reflecting pool, all that stuff. Let me count these a second. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seems like they're all there. Maybe I didn't save them as I was going through. I was doing this pretty quick tonight. All right, let's wrap up because we're going to do a sticker giveaway. And then we'll say goodnight soon because I don't want to keep you. But it's a fun place to be. Anyway, we left Graceland. I'll go through really quickly. We went to the we went to Sun Studio. That was fun, where Elvis cut his first big record, as well as Johnny Cash and Blue Suede Shoes guys. Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis was there back in the 50s and 60s. So there was a lot happening right there. So it was great to see Sun Studio, kind of a little hole in the ground place, but a lot of history there happening as well. And then we left Sun Studio, and that's when we went to the Civil Rights Museum, which is the Lorraine Theater, where Martin Luther King was killed there, room number 306. And they've recreated the room, and then the entire museum is separate from that. It's in the same building. A very touching display. The bus, I don't know if it's the bus, but the bus where Rosa Parks sat. Great history. It's very emotional. There was a time when I actually had to walk away. They have some life-size statues in there, and you see the slaves that are crouched under they're in a boat, and something about seeing the life-size statues. Anyway, without getting too deep here, it was pretty emotional. I think because it's the Civil Rights Museum and our history with racism and whatnot, and Memphis is a very black area. I mean, high population of black people. So as I went to shops and what around there, you're surrounded by black people, and then at the Civil Rights Museum, you read about this history, and you think, oh my gosh, that's their ancestors, and it's today we see people for what they are, for who they are. People are people, but it's so sad to think that we thought differently back then. Very sad. It was emotional. Good to see. And across the street from that Lorraine Theater, the room is available. The museum continues across the street, and the room where James Earl Ray shot Martin Luther King, they recreated that room as well, the window, so you can actually look and see what he saw as the shooter. Tragic, just tragic. And the whole story about that day and what happened. I could go on and on with that. So anyway, on our way home, we went to Colonial Williamsburg. That's not where we saw Chris, but it was, coming home in that area. And there's the Governor Mansions at Colonial Williamsburg. So any questions, ring them out. or write them out or whatever. But let's do a sticker giveaway, shall we? All right. Here's the thing. I'm going to share a word, and you're going to put it on the screen, and you'll win this sticker. If you've won the stickers in the past, please don't enter, and we'll give everybody a chance to win tonight. So let me bring up that screen with the word of the night. So stay tuned as I am scrolling frantically to find what I need to find. I'll put some music on while I'm looking. Okay. Here's the word. So type in the live chat, hashtag elvisweek. It can be all uppercase. It can be all lowercase. It can be a mix of uppercase and lowercase. But make sure you have hashtag elvisweek with no spaces whatsoever, and you'll have a chance to win tonight. How about that? Very good. Let's let that go a little bit. And I'll read some comments while you're doing that. Just like Neil did there. How you doing, Neil? There's all lowercase. That'll work too. All right. I think we should click the button. What do you think? Anybody else going to enter? I see the number jumping up there a little bit. Oh, they're still coming in. All right. I'm going to hit it. Let's do it. Who's the winner? Tonight's winner of the sticker giveaway is Twin Brooks Acres. Hey, congratulations, Twin Brooks Acres. That is fun to see. Well, here's the deal. Twin Brooks, I need you to send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com. I'll leave it up there for just a second so you can see it. contactmcgtv@gmail.com. I'll need your name, your postal address, and I'll get these stickers out to you very soon. All right. Congratulations to Twin Brooks Acres. Any other questions here? I was going to show you a video too from the farm in Tennessee when I was on vacation. My brother actually sent this to me, and he said, "Do you want to share this on the live stream?" Let's watch a little bit of this. This is some video he shot. They have a lot of goats down there. And they're cute. You know, I had goats one time, and just a couple of them, I could not keep them in the fence. It's like they were, if they could get under the fence, they'd get under it. And then if they could get over the fence, they'd go over it. I don't know if there are different breeds of goats that are better than others, but they were hard to keep in. But these guys, they're cute, all right. So thanks for sending that video, John. I appreciate it. All right. Let's look at some comments. And then we'll wrap up here in just a minute. And again, thanks for joining me on a August evening. I was going to say a hot August evening, but the heat wave has broken. It's beautiful out. So a lot of people might be out from outside working because it's so nice. That's fine. All right, let me get back to me. Here we go. Okay. Yes. Well, Colleen, when you get your place there in Tennessee, you can get some goats. I don't know how far you are from where I was, but not too far. You can buy some goats from my sister and brother-in-law. How about that? So I don't think any of those are fainting goats, David. Though they do look like that, but I don't think any of those are fainters. So, Jason, thanks for joining us. Have a great night. I think I showed you all the pictures that I was going to show you. Stay tuned to the channel for some other content coming up. Again, come back on another Monday night, and we may have an interesting guest talking more about tractors and those kind of things rather than my personal vacation. But I thought it would be good to share that with you. I didn't want to make a video about it because it doesn't really fit the channel so much. But we're a closer group here on these live stream nights. These are the nights where we get together kind of as friends, and it's kind of a little core group of people that would probably enjoy that content more than the rest of the world. So, but otherwise, yeah, Chris, I think we will. I don't see why not, unless something changes. If you don't mind me being spontaneous, which is kind of what this whole vacation was, pretty spontaneous. But I think so. I think we'll have a live stream next week. So, I'd pencil it in, as they say. Pencil it in, and that way we can be flexible with that. What do you think? I think that'd be good. So here we are, wrapping up. Again, thanks for watching, not only tonight, but watching the content on Facebook and now TikTok. By the way, I mentioned this before. Even if you watch generally on YouTube, but if you do have a Facebook account or a TikTok account, if you would follow the channel on Facebook and TikTok as well, so that we can get more people watching. And I enjoy making this content for whoever watches it. But of course, we want it to grow. I mean, why not, right? You put a lot of work into making a video. You want it to get as much traction as possible. That's kind of what we do as content creators, because it takes a lot of time and effort. And as much as we enjoy it, there's a satisfaction when others see it and interact with you as well. And again, I learn from you. A lot of times I put out a video and I often say I really don't know. I'm no expert at anything, but I like to share my experiences with you. And then I learn so much from you in the comments and whatnot. So that's always, the interaction is just the best thing. So, but anyway, yeah, let's plan to be together next week. And the reason Chris even mentioned that was because early on I had talked about maybe we'll skip live streams in August just because of the summer and whatnot. But actually, I should look. There probably will be no live stream Labor Day. There might. We'll see. That's the weekend of the Bluegrass Festival. I'll be tied up there, but I'll be home by then. So maybe we will. Anyway, plan for every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, RCAF Twacker Twitch on Twitch as well. Although we're live streaming there tonight, and I don't know if anybody else besides you is watching from there. And thank you, Colleen. I love Monday nights too. How great is it that we can do something where we actually say we love Monday night? I mean, Mondays, people usually don't like Mondays, but this is one thing to look forward to. So I really I appreciate your presence here, and it means just as much to me being on this end of the camera, hopefully, as it is to you on that end of the camera, or shall I say, hopefully it means as much to you on that end as it does to me, because I'm really happy to be here, and I'm glad that you're here. So with that, have a great week. Be safe, and stay healthy as best you can. You don't have much control over that, but anyway, thinking of you, and just be well. And I look forward to seeing you next time.